Reaction with carbonyl compounds. How does Grignard reagent react with carbonyl compounds? First of all, what are carbonyl compounds? They contain the carbonyl group, that is C double bond O group. They can either be aldehyde, represented like this, where it is compulsory to have one hydrogen attached to carbonyl group, and they can also be ketones, where on both sides you can have carbon. Both sides we should be having carbon, then that is a ketone. So both aldehydes and ketones are carbonyl compounds. How does Grignard reagent react with aldehydes and ketones? So let's take the simplest aldehyde. Let's learn this by taking 3 reactions. So my first reaction, I am taking the simplest aldehyde, that is formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is also called as methanol. IUPAC name is methanol. So formaldehyde, what happens when I am adding Grignard reagent? For an example, I am taking here methyl magnesium iodide. Now this is an addition reaction. You all know, students, that magnesium is electropositive and therefore it has a partial positive charge. And therefore the carbon here gets a partial negative charge. Similarly here, out of carbon and oxygen, oxygen being more electronegative is partially negative, whereas carbon here is partially positive. Opposites attract, and therefore our methyl group, which is negative, adds to this carbon, whereas magnesium adds to this oxygen. So therefore rest of the compound we write same. Here we have OH. The pi bond goes away because we have done addition reaction there. We have methyl adding to carbon, and here we have MgI. Now this doesn't look like a very important compound, so our next step is we hydrolyze it. Hydrolysis meaning breaking of a compound by using water. It's normally done in an acid medium. It can also be done in a basic medium. Here we are using acid, so therefore the bond breaks here. We get an H here and OH here of water, and therefore my product obtained is CH3. Okay, if I write like this, H, C, H, and here we have CH3. Here what's remaining? OH. The byproduct here is MgIOH. Okay, so this is my product. Now you need to tell me which alcohol is this. Are you observing that carbon attached to OH, this carbon which is attached to OH, is attached to one carbon? What does it mean? It's a primary alcohol. Similarly, let's do our next reaction. This time we can take any other aldehyde except formaldehyde, any other aldehyde. When you react with Grignard reagent, I'll keep the Grignard reagent same to avoid confusion, but you can try with others as well. So here we have CH3, same thing. Pi bond is gone now. H is still there here. Methyl adds here and MgI adds here. Next step, hydrolysis. When you carry out hydrolysis, you are left with CH3, CCH3. Here you have OH, H, and what is the byproduct? MgIOH. See, if it breaks here, H here, OH here. Now if you are observing this alcohol, this carbon attached to OH is attached to 2 carbons, and hence I call it a secondary alcohol. We'll see the third example. I think you know what I'm going to do this time. We are taking here another carbon. What is this? This is a ketone. Which ketone is this? This is acetone. This here was ethanol or acetaldehyde. So now when we are adding Grignard reagent, you can see how the reaction is occurring. We have a CH3 here also, and here we have again OMgI, which on hydrolysis gives us a tertiary alcohol. A carbon attached to OH is attached to 3 carbon, and hence this is a tertiary alcohol. So we can conclude like this, that carbonyl compounds react with Grignard reagent to give useful compounds.